I'm sure that this video is going to get taken down, just like my other video got taken down. But here we go, I'm going to try again because I think that this is incredibly important for me to talk about. As an American Jew, as a pediatrician, and just as a human being, I have a lot of thoughts on what's going on in the Middle East. I've been encouraged over and over again to not talk about this topic on my page, and that is simply not an option. But I need you to promise me that you're going to stick around for the whole video. When you see this video, and the video where this hostage's daughter is talking about how well they were treated while they were being held hostage, and your first thought is, wow, look at how well the hostages are being treated by Hamas, after knowing the massacre that they committed on October 7th, instead of thinking, I wonder what they threatened her with in order for her to give this kind of information, you are not using your critical thinking skills. And you are essentially equating Hamas with the good guys. And not realizing it, you are damaging the fight for freedom that the Palestinians are calling for and deserve. Now, if you see this video,
move south for your
and your
own
first
safety.
thought is, wow, look, Israel is warning the Palestinian civilians to get out before they bomb the entire location. Instead of thinking, Israel is warning the Palestinian civilians in English, online, after cutting them off from the internet and from the world completely. Is this really a message for the Palestinian civilians? Or is it meant for somebody else to see, like Americans, who will now watch and say, wow, look, Israel warns their civilians before bombing them. You are not using your critical thinking skills. If you are doing this, taking down flyers of Israeli hostages, you are very likely anti-Semitic. And you also likely don't realize that a lot of the hostages that were taken are not actually Jewish and are not actually from Israel. I am not one to call out anti-Semitism lightly, but please explain to me how taking down the flyers of missing women, men, and children who have been taken hostage is a way to fight for the freedom of the Palestinians. It's not. In fact, this gives leeway and gives the American people and other people from many other countries who are very pro-Israel just another reason to give them the right to defend themselves and to fight anti-Semitism. Next, if somebody sent you this video where people are claiming that students are chanting, Israel, Israel, you can't hide, we want Jewish genocide, and your first thought is to send it out to all of the people that you know without fact-checking it first, without even thinking to yourself, could they be saying something else? You are not using your critical thinking skills. In fact, if you close your eyes and listen again, you can very easily hear that they're saying, Israel, Israel, you can't hide, we charge you with genocide. Yes, anti-Semitism is all around us, and it's higher than ever right now. But making stuff up like this and labeling everything as anti-Semitism is like crying wolf, and it makes true acts of anti-Semitism less likely to be acknowledged and less likely to be reprimanded. And now I'm going to leave you with my final thoughts. What happened on October 7th in Israel was an act of terrorism. A barbaric, disgusting act of terrorism. With one goal, that goal being annihilating as many Jews as possible. Israel has the right to defend itself. Carpet bombing Gaza, murdering over 12,000 people, half of whom are children, cutting off water, food, electricity, bombing hospitals, schools, refugee camps, bombing ambulances, killing healthcare workers, killing members of the press, is not self-defense. It is a barbaric, disgusting act of terrorism. Hamas has to be taken care of. So it's time to use your brain and all of that fancy American-funded equipment that you have to get to them without exterminating an entire population of people. Unless, of course, that is actually your goal. Palestine deserves to be free, free from Hamas, and free from the Israeli occupation. And the innocent civilians of Israel who have been living there for years, many of which don't even know all of the details of the history of Israel, also deserve to live in peace. The only solution is a two-state solution, but that's not going to be possible with the leaders that are in place right now on either side. The final thing that I will say is that many Jews worldwide and in Israel do not agree with what's happening right now. And many of us are getting a lot of hate from our family, from our friends, but that's not going to silence us. Because for me, as somebody who has lost family members in the Holocaust, as a mother who cannot even begin to imagine what the mothers are going through right now, seeing their children in pieces, or every day wondering if it's going to be the last minute that they get to see their children alive. As a pediatrician who cannot even imagine the thought of somebody saying that I would have to evacuate an entire hospital full of sick and dying patients, as if that would be even possible in the perfect circumstances, let alone in an area that's being bombed incessantly without food, water, or electricity. And just as a regular human being, I will never, ever support genocide. And I'll say it again, as a Jewish person, not in my name.